In this video, we will be going over how to assemble your StableLoads for your truck. Each wedge will have a different number of holes, and starting from the bottom, you will want to have 5, and then 4, and then 3 holes on the top. From here, you will want to take your measurement before assembling all 3 wedges. Some setups may only need 1 or 2 depending on the size of the gap between your lower overload spring and the spring pack. If you only need 1 or 2 wedges, you will want to retain the lowest of the wedges. Place the 3/8 inch bolt through the upper left hole of the top and middle wedge, and the middle hole of the bottom wedge. You'll want to take a black grommet and put it in the large hole at the top of the center plates. It is a tight squeeze, so using the pins provided can be useful to get it in there, as well as making sure the hole is lined up. You will want to grab your measurements on your lower overload spring first before assembling the entire unit. You will want to match it as close as possible to the height of the lower overload spring, but it is better to have an extra washer than it is to be short one. After measuring the thickness of your lower overload spring, match the height with a stack of washers as you place your 1/2 inch bolt through them and the plate, securing it with a nylock nut. Then, before you're needing to load your vehicle up, re-engage a StableLoad between the lower overload spring and the spring pack. Once it's all installed, simply pull the pin and clip out to swivel it in or out of place as needed. This will allow you to enjoy your vehicle's natural ride feel as you drive without any additional weight, as the StableLoads will not be engaged. The smaller holes on the base plate will be used for the 1/4 inch bolts to prevent movement of the StableLoad. There will be 3 holes to provide options on where to place the bolt depending on the width of your lower overload spring. Insert the 7/16 bolt through the base plate and the hole in your lower overload spring. Depending on your vehicle, the StableLoad can either be set up on the inner or outer portion of your overload springs as to allow the wedges to swivel, and for necessary room from the tire. We provided a square hole on the bottom wedge to provide easy extension access and leverage for when you need to swivel your StableLoad. Before starting your install, measure your lower overload spring height to determine how many flat washers you will need to clear it. In this install, the spring was just under 1/2 inch and our washer height was just at 1/2 inch. Next, measure the gap between your spring pack and lower overload spring on all 4 sides. This will determine how many wedges you will need to use per contact point. If there are plugs or stickers covering the holes, remove them from the lower overload spring. If you do not see holes, you will need to drill your own. If you are unable to insert the 7/16 bolt, you may need to use a crowbar or other tool to create the separation you need. With your StableLoad assembled, you want to tighten the 1/2 inch bolt to the point where it can be moved by hand. The small bolts on the side of the base plate will depend on the width of your lower overload spring. If you are only able to get one side, you want to put it in the hole the opposite of the 1/2 inch bolt. It functions as a stopper to prevent any rotation of the base plate. The 1/2-inch bolt will assist with that as well if there's only one bolt. You want to make sure your wedges have 1 inch of clearance from your tires in case you are needing to hook up snow chains. Once you have your StableLoad assembled, simply place it on the lower overload spring with the bolt. Tighten your 7/16 nut onto the bolt and your install is finished. When you're ready to engage your StableLoads, secure them in place with the provided pin and clip. And when you're needing to disengage, pop the pin out as you rotate the wedges out of the way, securing them in place again with the pin. This video is a guide for visual reference. Please always refer to our instructions when installing Torklift products, for they are updated regularly. For any questions, visit our website or give us a call at 800-246-8132.